Welcome! Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a special treat for you, but before we continue, please subscribe to my channel. Every subscription helps me out, and by doing so, you will be able to check out further useful videos such as this that I will create in the future, and the ability to check out some of the music I write and other adventures I go on. So I value all my subscribers, so please become part of our group. Thank you. And also, please shoot me out a like, because you know how Google works, and YouTube, every like helps a brother out. So thanks again. Now let's continue. For all those fellow musicians out there, welcome. And if you're recording your music, you may know that acoustically treated environments are important for vocals at least. And if you are not able to acoustically treat your areas due to your living scenarios, then this video is definitely for you. This is a portable vocal booth that I'm about to create for you and show you how to do it step by step. I'm going to lay out the supplies. It's basically roughly a 3 foot by 3 foot by 6.5 foot tall vocal booth with some moving blankets that you can tear down, put back up when you need to record to get some acoustically treated recordings done. And I've created this for basically under $100. I will put links in the descriptions below on the parts and where I got them from. I will also put some links down there from Amazon for those that may not have a Harbor Freight near them, because that's where I got a lot of these supplies from. So I'll put alternative links on there if you wanted to just order it online. I just want to be able to allow you to recreate this as easy as possible. Well, without further ado, let's get into the supplies needed to accomplish this. All right, now we're back for the supply list. I'm gonna have a cheat sheet here so I don't mess it up, so I ain't that perfect. So the first thing you're gonna need is some 10-foot PVC pipes. You're gonna need 6 of them, 6 10-foot PVC pipes, and I've calculated the math on how to cut them to only need 6. It was a time-consuming task to figure that out. So, you're welcome. The next thing you're going to need is 8 elbow tees, and then you're going to need 6 regular tees, and this is all 1-inch pipe. And then you're going to need 2 72-inch by 80-inch moving blankets, and then 1 40-inch by 50-inch moving blanket, or 1 40-inch by 72-inch moving blanket. I got the 72-inch one. Then you'll need, this is optional, but it will make your life a lot easier, this PVC cutter, because I've used jigsaws in the past. It's a pain. Hacksaws are a pain. I bought this. I got it for $8 at Harbor Freight, and I just did not want to deal with a jigsaw. This is going to make it a lot easier, so I recommend it. Get nice clean cuts. Then you'll need 4 nylon spring clips, about 1 3/4 inch nylon clips to hold the moving blanket to the top. And then you're going to need these shower or curtain ring clips. I found these on Amazon. I will send you the link in the description. And these clips are basically, you can clip the moving blankets, and they're 1.5 inch diameters, so they'll go over that pipe with ease, which will make things a lot easier. You don't have to buy some grommet gun or something like that, or buy these expensive acoustic blankets that have the grommets in it. This will help you get along away with not having to have that. So these are the basic supplies. And there's one more thing if you want to take the vocal booth to the next level. This is how I'm going to do it. You can buy this isolation boot that you put in here that isolates the vocals when you do it. Here's that. And that will help create a more soundproof environment, which will create way better than just the vocal booth by itself. So these are your basic supplies that you're gonna need to create this. And now let's get on to the cutting scenarios. All right, now it's time for the real fun. Time for the cutting. You ready to cut? So this is the basic lengths you're gonna need in order to accomplish this. You're gonna need 4 48-inch PVC pipes that are 1 inch in diameter, 4 30-inch size PVC pipes, 9 36-inch PVC pipes, and 4 17.5-inch PVC pipes. Okay, so the way you're gonna accomplish this with only using 6 PVC pipes is on 3 of those PVC pipes, you're gonna cut each one of those this way. You're gonna cut 2 36-inch pieces, and then for the last cut would be a 48-inch one. So 3 of those pipes, that's what you're gonna do for those ones. And then on another one of those 6 to 10 foot PVC pipes, you're gonna cut 1 36-inch section and 2 17.5-inch sections, and then 1 48-inch section. And then for another one of those 10 foot PVC pipes, you're just gonna cut 4 30-inch sections. And then for the last one, you're gonna cut 2 36-inch ones and 2 17.5-inch ones. And that should be enough pipe there to get all the lengths you need. Now, let's move on. Don't forget when you put these things together to put the rings on these PVC pipes before you attach them. And I put 5 per side. So structure wise, you have 4 elbow tees in the bottom, 4 elbow tees in the top, 2 tees here, 2 tees here, and 2 tees on the back. As you can see, I got all the pipes cut, and just refer to that previous diagram I showed you with the 3D models I created to show you the measurements on each piece you had to cut in order to achieve this right here with this structure. It's stable enough to do vocal booths. You ain't gonna support anything super heavy up here. Okay. Now for the next part, hanging up the blankets. As you can see, I already hung up one of them. And how I'm gonna try to do this is I'm gonna stagger them so you can move this over, pull it back and clip it. So when you're done, you can clip it back into place. And I decided to put this on the inside to prevent any type of echoing from the PVC pipe when you're recording, so you would have a buffer of sound blocking the PVC pipe from hitting it and bouncing back into your recording or microphone. So I chose to hang it from the inside. You can do whatever you want. I thought this was the better idea. So let me just go and show you. Here's the second blanket here. Let's start. And we're gonna start back here. We're gonna clip it all the way around until we get to the front. First you gotta find out which way it goes, which would be helpful to know. And I'm just gonna kind of overlap it here in the back. Go through, slide this down to where I want it. Clickety click. See you later. All right, the top is the last thing to put on. There's one thing I kind of wish I would have done differently with this top. I kind of wish I would have just got another one of these blankets because they were only like $8 at Harbor Freight. This one was like $4, and I feel like they could have been a little bit longer. For some reason, it didn't do what I expected it to do. However, it still is better than having no roof at all. So, as you can see, I kind of have that loop back there, and I'm using these clips to clip it on. I wish it was a little longer, so this could actually pull back and hang over these things. But you got to work with what you got, and good thing you guys could see my mistake and do it correctly. I might end up going and buying another one of these and using that as the top. We'll see. But you can kind of just put this over here and clip it. Here on the sides over here, you just do the same, put a clip here. Have one on the back as well. If anything, that will at least keep some of that noise out. And at the top, this will probably work. You can close it down. Here we are on the inside. Here is my isolation microphone, which will add some additional benefits, having this foam to block a lot of the sound from bouncing back anyways. I did add a little light up here, just a homemade light I made with LEDs, just to have some type of light. It's not very much. May end up making something else later. But I figured I would show you the inside. It's not very roomy, but if you have a limited space like I do, then this may be enough for you just to record some vocals and have a more acoustic treated environment. All right. I know it's a little crowded in here, but I'm trying to show you as best as I can. All right, just showing you a step I decided to add, which is putting some Velcro on these end pieces to mesh together. Right now, the step I'm on is just tacking them
finding the locations where I want these Velcro strips added to on each side, and tacking them. I just kind of use these pins to point where I wanted the Velcro strips to be and tried to match it on both sides. And then I ended up pinning the Velcros into place, and then I just put a small little tack with hand sewing, just a few threads just to hold that into place so you can take the pin out, and when I go to sew it with my sewing machine, it will be all in place. What I did was cut these strips into I think 30-inch strips, and I did 3 of them. Next will be sewing machine. So the tacking is just going to make it easier to know where to sew, keep it in place when I use the sewing machine. And I can line it up while it's on the stand, so I know that the Velcro is going to be at the right spot on both blankets, so they line up good. All right, finished it up. After tacking it, finished sewing it. Now the Velcro is sewn into place, so it closes all the gaps that were showing up in the blanket. And did that all the way down with 3 strips. And what I also did was on the same blanket, I did it on both sides. However, on this side of the blanket, I just used the soft side of the Velcro, and on the other side of the blanket, I used the rough side, so that when I fold the blanket, I can Velcro them together so the Velcro is not catching on the blanket. So I did the same thing to both sides, to both blankets, excuse me. Now this one on this side is the rough side, but on the opposite end of this blanket is the furry side. So when I fold the blanket, I can fold it over onto the Velcro before I put it up for storage, and the Velcros will stick together on the ends because they're the exact same place on both sides. And the Velcro was something I wasn't sure I needed to do until I set it up, because I saw some gaps in there, and this seemed like the best method to fix it. And I didn't know I was going to need to do that when I planned it, but I guess the blankets were so close to the right size for the diameter of this vocal booth that it left some gaps because it didn't have much overlap. This fixed it. I just hand tacked it in place so I would know where to sew, and then used a sewing machine and sewed it. Did zigzag on the end and straight stitch in the middle, or on the side, excuse me. Not the most professional, but sure beats hand sewing all that. Velcro is pretty tough. Here is the finished vocal booth with the isolation microphone attachment to help improve sound acoustic treatment. This video has gotten quite long, so I do not think I'm going to do a comparison with this video, but shoot me out enough likes and I will do so.
There you have it. This is my vocal booth. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check the links in the description for the list of parts. And please thumb up the video if you found this useful. and definitely subscribe. Every subscription makes me extremely happy.